We knew that this was a fantastic historical site, and part of what we've been trying to do with the building is turn what is a historical building into a modern 21st century building fit for use. So we weren't entirely surprised when we heard that they'd found some historical artifacts, but we were astonished when we found just what they had found, and that was extraordinary.
Just purely from the stone and the body, you can tell that he was probably quite a wealthy person, high status person for that time. The fact that he buried in what would be the grounds of the churchyard tells you he was rich, and because he would have been donating money his whole life to that monastery, with the view of being buried there when he died, and then to have that grave slab placed on what would have been a prominent place either in the graveyard or within the building as well, so it tells you about his status in society. We can pin the date of the burial to between the founding of the priory in the 1300s and its destruction in the 1500s. The artistic style of the slab appears to be 13th or 14th century based on other ones that have been found in churchyards in Scotland. Although it'll probably take a sort of expert in medieval sculpture to could probably pin that down a bit more accurately. We could and probably will radiocarbon date the skeleton as well, which would give us probably a very accurate date for the date of the slab as well.
What you're looking at in the site is 700 years of educational history on the site, and you may even be looking at the origin of formal education in Edinburgh. The monastery was founded in 1320 by the king Alexander II, and the Dominican friars were a teaching order. They weren't a removed order, they looked after the good of people around. They had a hospital here, and they taught children. And then when the monastery was attacked by the mob in the Reformation, they needed a school after it. They built the school and the foundations. So what we can see are the foundations of the Dominican monastery, 700 years old. School built on top of it. Later school built perpendicular to it before it then moved to Carlton Hill. But then the university took over the building. So 700 continuous years of Edinburgh education is really significant, and you could say the university's origins in one way or another are all seen on this site.
This production is brought to you by the University of Edinburgh.